In this video today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix an itchy bottom. I love this question. This is a question that I get from a lot of my patients, and I'm going to help you to figure out exactly what we can do. Coming up next. So for those guys who are joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Samir Slum. Yes, I am your poop guru, and my passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. If you're new to these video series, I do a lot of videos on gut health, product reviews, medical health, and any questions you may have. At any point in time during the video, click on the show notes down below where I'll give a lot of the information I'm going to talk about in this video today. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about exactly how you can help with an itchy bottom. This is a great question. In fact, this is one of those questions which I call a door question. What I mean by that is, as I'm walking out, as I'm finishing talking to my patients, I get to the door, about to leave, and someone says, "Hey doc, I have one more question." And these are the questions that I think probably are the most valuable, because a lot of my patients, a lot of people may be embarrassed by talking about this particular problem. And I think these questions are very important so that you can know exactly what we can do to help out with the questions that you have today. So in this video, I'll talk to you about the causes for why you're having an itchy bottom, and also number two, what you can do to fix that today. So why do you have an itchy bottom? It is a very common problem to have. You're not alone. I can promise you are not alone when it comes to having an itchy bottom or just kind of having that scratch down below. A lot of people have this issue, and the reason why people can have this is, number one, dry skin. So the very bottom is an area that is not used to being dry. It is a moist area, and if you dry it too much, and actually by being too clean, you can make this issue a lot worse. So one very common cause is it being too dry, and that dryness can cause a lot of chafing, a lot of irritation to occur. A second reason is actually excess washing, and this is actually a very common reason why people can have this problem. So people assume that the area in the very bottom has to be excessively clean, and they go down lengths to make sure it's clean. They clean it during the shower, they clean it whenever they use the restroom, and they use wipes and all sorts of different ways to keep this area extremely clean. If you're doing that, this is a very common reason why you're having the itching problem. This area is not meant to be excessively clean. It's not meant to be excessively dry. And so if you are having ways or doing things to make it super clean, try to stop that. I'll give you some tips down the road in this video about what you can do to keep that clean. Another very common reason is diarrhea, and there are certain medications that people are on that can cause diarrhea to occur. And also there are medications that can make bowel habits a lot more difficult to manage. And so you may be on a medication that can make bowel habits worse, whether it's pain medications, whether it's blood pressure medications, or other medications that can make symptoms get worse, especially diarrhea. Another common cause is irritants, such as laundry soaps or laundry detergents. These can irritate the very bottom as well, causing almost like an allergic reaction to cause you to have more and more itching and more issues in the bottom area. Also, food irritants, foods very commonly can make a lot of issues in the bottom a lot worse. I have a lot of patients tell me, "Hey, Dr. Islam, I eat spicy foods, and I can tell when I have spicy foods that I have a lot of itching, a lot of burning in the very bottom." And these spicy foods can really irritate the bottom area. And so certain foods can really make these symptoms worse. And I'll talk about at the very end of the video about foods that you can recommend, that I recommend to maybe avoid. And also infections can really make things worse, whether it's a yeast infection. Some people can actually have worms, especially young kids, that can really irritate the bottom as well. And then lastly, there are certain skin conditions that can really make symptoms a lot worse. Now, I talked about some of the more common causes that can cause itching to occur, but the number one cause why people have an itchy bottom and they don't realize this are hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are probably the most common reason why people have burning, itching, a sense of pressure in the very bottom, and feeling that something maybe not completely emptying out. And hemorrhoids, unfortunately, can really cause a havoc for a lot of people. They don't realize that they actually have hemorrhoid issues that are there. And I'll talk about at the very end about what you can do to get these hemorrhoids fixed. So now that we talked about the causes of why you had to have an itchy bottom, what can you do today to fix the problem? Keep in mind, the number one reason why people can have dry skin is because they're excessively washing the area in the bottom. The goal of the treatment is to keep the area dry, but not super dry, clean and intact. And the most important step is to keep the anal area dry, but also not to the point where you're actually chafing yourself as well. So one way you can do that is to take warm baths. Lukewarm baths very commonly can help fix the irritation in the bottom, especially if you add things like salts in the bath as well to make it easier for the areas to decompress, to get less pressure, and help out with some of the itching problems that are occurring there as well. Don't scrub the area and don't use that soap. You know what I'm talking about when you lather up that soap in the shower and you do that karate chop. That's a very common reason why you're having the itching in the very bottom. It can dry up the area, make it super dry, and can also chafe the bottom as well. Also, make sure you try to clean the area with just plain water rinse. Don't combine that with soap or shampoo. Using plain water, have it go down the area and try to clean yourself that way is probably a more effective way to keep the area from itching too much. Use a bidet. A bidet is a very fantastic way not to only keep the area clean, but to prevent itching down below. And I'll put a link down below in the show notes about which bidet I recommend to help clean the bottom. Sometimes some people have to use a cotton gauze in the very bottom area to help absorb the moisture, and this may be an effective way if you are having itching and you're having an area that is not really responding to some of the more traditional treatments that we have. And so also make sure you use all cotton underwear. A lot of people don't use underwear that's all cotton, which can really irritate the bottom as well. And so see if you can switch to an all cotton underwear. Now, keep in mind too, don't scratch the area as well. You know, if you have an itchy bottom, try not to scratch it because that will cause more and more irritation to occur. What are some of the over-the-counter options I'd recommend? And there are about 4 different ones that I recommend. I'll put the links down below. These are all very effective options over the counter that you can use to help out with an itchy bottom, whether it's Desitin, Lotrimin, or any of the over-the-counter creams. These are very effective creams that help soothe the bottom, keep it dry, but not too dry, keep it clean, and really give a relief to some of the itching problems that you may be having down below. Diet can play a role in terms of making itching issues worse. Passing dry, hard stools can really irritate the very bottom. Also, doing things that can cause diarrhea can really irritate the bottom as well. So if you're having dry stools, try to have more water, try to have more fiber. We typically recommend 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day to help out with some of the problems that may be having with bowel issues, especially if you're having issues like constipation. And some of the foods that can really make itching problems worse include things like coffee and tea, carbonated drinks, spicy foods, nuts and popcorns, chocolate, tomatoes, grapes, some of the things we enjoy in life. Unfortunately, it can really make some itching problems worse. My recommendation to you when it comes to foods and any type of diet issues is see exactly how your body responds. Not everyone has to avoid all of these foods that are there, and that may be a hard thing to do, but use an elimination drive. Try to eliminate these foods and reintroduce them one at a time to see what are your particular triggers. Not everyone has itching when it comes to coffee and tea. Some people do, some people don't. The best way to know if you are a person in which coffee and tea can cause irritation, try to eliminate that, see how you feel, then reintroduce it. If you do not have symptoms, once you reintroduce it, guess what? You're one of the lucky ones that does not have coffee or tea as an irritant for your bottom. And if you do, know that that may be a particular trigger for you. But I will tell you, probably the more common triggers that we have is really spicy foods. Spicy foods, especially here in West Texas, we love spicy foods. I love Tex-Mex. A lot of people here do. That's a very common irritant, not only with your whole GI tract, but the very bottom of your GI tract as well. Lastly, the last thing that I would recommend is getting rid of your hemorrhoids. We have very effective options that we can do to help get rid of your hemorrhoids. We do what's called hemorrhoid banding. It takes about 10 or 15 seconds. It's quick, it's easy, and there's no bowel prep that you need. If you're having issues with your hemorrhoids and you think that's the cause for your itching, which I bet you would be for the majority of people, hemorrhoid banding is a very effective permanent solution to get rid of those hemorrhoids. If you want to get those fixed, I'll put a link down below. But in summary, anal itching is very common. You're not alone. I promise you you're not. If you're embarrassed to speak to your doctor about this, watch this video. It can occur due to erosion of the canal on the very bottom due to the natural skin barrier that's there, either by being too dry, too clean, or just trying to really soap up the area. Keeping the area dry is very important, and hard and dry stools can really irritate the very bottom, so try to do things to help minimize that and avoid the trigger foods that for some people can make hemorrhoid problems a lot worse. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Every Tuesday around this time, I do my Facebook Live, and every Thursday, I do a Poop Tip Thursday, and where I try to answer one question for your particular gut health. If you like these videos, don't forget to click the like button, click subscribe for more videos that you can watch to help out with your gut health. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you guys in more videos. Thanks and take care. Don't forget to click like, guys. Like. Don't forget to click here for more information on hemorrhoid banding, and click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hemorrhoid banding, itchy bottom, bottom itching, fix the bottom of itching. Let's see if we can help out with the itchy bottom.